Hi friends, Sri Aurobindo's idea, all life is yoga, becomes even more profound when we look at evolution. Consider the history of life. Matter gave rise to life, life gave rise to mind. And now, in the human being, consciousness has become capable of observing itself. A stone does not ask, "Who am I?" An animal does not ordinarily ask, "What is the meaning of my existence?" But the human being can ask these questions. We can observe our thoughts. We can question our desires. We can examine our motives. We can consciously change ourselves. This is enormously significant for Sri Aurobindo. Nature has been evolving through us, but in the human being, evolution can become conscious. Nature was doing yoga unconsciously. The human being can begin to do yoga consciously. Sri Aurobindo therefore describes yoga as an intensification of the evolutionary process. Instead of allowing evolution to proceed slowly and unconsciously, the individual participates consciously in his or her own transformation. So, yoga is not something unnatural, it is actually nature becoming conscious of her own evolutionary movement. This leads to one of Sri Aurobindo's most important ideas. The human being is not the final product of evolution. We often think evolution has produced human beings and that the story is essentially complete. Sri Aurobindo sees it differently. Humanity is a transitional being. We stand between what we have been and what we may become. Mind is not necessarily the summit. There may be a consciousness beyond the ordinary mental consciousness. And Sri Aurobindo calls the higher evolutionary consciousness the supramental. This gives a completely different meaning to spiritual practice. Yoga is not simply about becoming a better version of the existing human personality. It is about participating in a deeper transformation of consciousness. Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga is often approached through three broad movements: knowledge, works, devotion. In other words, the transformation of the mind, the transformation of action, and the transformation of the heart. These correspond broadly to the great classical paths of yoga. Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge. We begin to ask, "Who am I? Am I merely my thoughts? Am I merely my emotions? Who is the consciousness that observes them?" We gradually discover the witness within. Karma Yoga, the yoga of works. We transform our relationship with action. Instead of asking only, "What will I get from this?" we begin to ask, "How can this action become an offering?" Work becomes more than a means of personal gain, it becomes a means of self transcendence. Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. The heart turns toward the divine. Love becomes deeper than possession. Gratitude becomes deeper than expectation. And gradually, life becomes an offering. Sri Aurobindo does not want us to choose one aspect of our being and neglect the others. He seeks an integral transformation: mind, heart, will, life energy, body, the whole human being. Here we come to one of the most powerful aspects of Sri Aurobindo's vision. If all life is yoga, what do we do with suffering? Suppose life breaks your plans. You lose something you deeply valued. Something disappoints you. You experience failure. You feel lonely. You become uncertain about the future. The ordinary response is, why is this happening to me? Integral yoga asks another question: what can this experience awaken in me? Notice the difference. The first question is about explanation, the second is about transformation. It does not mean that suffering is good. It does not mean that we should glorify pain. It means that even an unwanted experience can become material for consciousness. A wound can reveal attachment. A failure can reveal ego. A conflict can reveal unconscious patterns. A disappointment can reveal dependence. And difficulty can reveal a strength we did not know we possessed. The event may not be under our control, but our consciousness in relation to the event can change. And that is where yoga begins. We shall continue further.